Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be giving you my review of the season at Chessington, the 2025 season at Chessington. So in this video I'm going to go a bit in depth in my thoughts and feelings on the season, how I thought it went, things that went well, things that need improving. So yeah, let's get right into it. Starting with my overall thoughts, I thought this season was a bit of a letdown in my opinion. There was not as much entertainment as last year as I was expecting there to be. There's also a lack of flow to the park in a way, because they've obviously got both the new Paw Patrol area for next year coming along construction wise, and they've also got the 2027 edition coming, which is all but confirmed to be Minecraft, which I just feel like let the flow of the park down a little bit. And now with the tigers being removed, it leaves in question and doubt the future of Tiger Rock as well. So if that closes as well, there's a lot of flagship rides at Chessington that will be closed, which is a big shame, especially if Tiger Rock gets closed at the end of this season, during the off season, and not opening in the following year, which basically means there are a lot less rides at Chessington. And in a way, for me this year, it kind of felt like a half-day park at times, especially when it wasn't busy. You could get all of the major rides and bits that you wanted to get done within a couple of hours, rather than, where it used to be going from ride to ride, and it'd be a full day thing. It'd be annoying to not be able to get re-rides when it was a 10-5 operation, but now it's kind of, you get to about 1-2 o'clock and you've done everything and you're leaving 3 hours before the park closes. So yeah, I do feel as if that aspect of it could be better in terms of especially ride availability as well. Obviously, Vampire's been closed for a numerous amount of weeks now, and also I've seen that Mandrill Mayhem's been down a little bit. Rattlesnake's not always opening on time. It does show that these cutbacks at Merlin's are affecting the operations at the parks, and it's also impacting guests' satisfaction. I mean, I've seen from a lot of the times I've been there that people have been very unhappy and at guest services and just not looking like they're enjoying the parks, which is what I didn't feel last season, especially at Chessington, where people were having a good time, they had things to do, there was shows, there was events, and it kept people wanting to come back. Whereas now it's kind of, you go once a year and then that's it. And Merlin don't have that kind of the feeling of wanting people to come back anymore, because they just don't see a reason to come back. It leads me on to my next point, which is also how much it is to go now. And you think when you pay for the park entry, you should be able to, that be it. You're not paying that much for food. And if you are paying for food, it's not really expensive, which is what it is, especially at the Arrow Mart places there, where it is extremely expensive and not always the best quality food. I have noticed this year, especially at the Burger Kitchen, that was closed a lot. The fish and chip bar near the Wildwood was always closed. The chicken place down in by Tomb Blaster, that was closed. So yeah, it's also a lot of cutbacks in terms of food and that being open. So yeah, I just feel like this season was a bit of a letdown. But moving on to the positives, I thought Halloween, their kind of Halloween event was great fun. The shows there were awesome, and I just wish we had that more throughout the year. I also feel as if, in a way, what was really good was the fact that there was so much to see and do at Halloween. It was quite refreshing from the rest of the season. That was quite dull when you were just going for the rides, and I liked the fact that you go for the shows. Granted, I haven't been to their Christmas event yet. I am going to go during the off-season to their Christmas event, and I'm hoping that will be good, and that's got a lot to see and do. Obviously, they haven't got as many animals now, so it kind of doesn't pad the event out as much as it used to. But I do feel as though there is a lot that Merlin and especially Chessington can improve on next year, and I'm hoping the Paw Patrol area does help them grow Chessington again. Because I feel like it's at a real low period. It's a bit like where Alton Towers was a couple of years ago, where there wasn't much investment and it wasn't very fun and enjoyable to go anymore. So I feel like Chessington's at that point at the moment, but I can see a brighter future for Chessington. But Another thing I wanted to go on about was actual crowd levels. My vlog that I did from Chessington a couple of weeks ago, it was on the crowd calendar 2%, which just shows that, I know it was an off-peak Tuesday, or Thursday, sorry, but it still showed that not many people want to be going. And I know it's during the week and the schools are not out and stuff like that, but you still would have thought people who had the day off would go, oh, let's go to Chessington for the day. But it was really quiet, and like I said in that vlog, I got on everything loads of times. Like Mandrill Mayhem, I think I did 4 or 5 times, and obviously Vampire being closed, but I did Rattlesnake 2 or 3 times, and I got around the whole park by about 1 o'clock, and I left at about 1ish, 2 o'clock, and there just wasn't that much to do there. And I feel like that's what they need to add, is actual rides for people to do and shows to see to keep people there longer, because at the moment it is just so empty in terms of crowds and in terms of things for people to do. And I think that is representative across the whole of the Merlin parks this season, not just Chessington. And I if this video does go down well, I might do a season review of Thorpe Park, because I have been there quite a bit, and I've also been to Legoland Windsor quite a bit. I've only been to Alton Towers once, so I don't really want to comment on that season, because when I went, it was obviously quite quiet. It was during the week. We did a 2-day kind of trip up there, so it wouldn't be the best kind of input from me if I was going off of their season based on going once for 2 days, whereas I've been to Chessington 6 or 7 times throughout the year. I've been to Thorpe Park 4 or 5 times, maybe even more. I've been to Legoland 5 or 6 times. See, I've been to those ones a lot more than I have been to Alton Towers, sorry. So I feel like I'm better to comment on them than I am Alton Towers. Another thing I wanted to talk about was how the animals now. What made Chessington so special was the animals, and towards the end of the season when I went, you could see that the animals they were slowly phasing out the animals, I feel like now. And that can tell where that's kind of shown now, where they've taken the lion and two lions and the tiger from Chessington and taken them to Jimmy's farm, and that's kind of spelled the end of Trail of the Kings and also kind of the Tiger Rock area, which I said earlier. And I just feel like they're slowly phasing the animals out now, which is what made Chessington so iconic and so different to other parks, was the fact that they had the animals mixed in with the coasters, mixed in with the shows, and it gave everyone something to do, and it was a whole day park, because you weren't just going for rides, you were going for the zoo, you were going for the shows. And I feel like the animals played a pivotal part in Chessington, so much so that they have the Aztec hotel and the African themed hotel, and they also have Zufari that's all based around animals, which when I went there wasn't too many animals out. Granted, it was October and it wasn't very warm, but it still felt a lot more fresh and vibrant in years gone by than it does now. And I also feel like they're slowly starting to phase Zufari out as well, because the big sign that was there for Zufari when I went was gone. I don't know whether it's back up now, but it was gone when I went. And also it feels very padded in and very closed in. It doesn't kind of feel like you're in a theme park anymore. It kind of just feels like you're being tunneled down to one thing and then tunneled back down to another thing. And I feel like I know they've got the construction going on for Paw Patrol, but that path's going to stay like that now because of the Paw Patrol area obviously taking up that whole blueprint. But yeah, I do feel like there's positive years to come for Chessington. I want to leave this video on a good note. I don't want to leave it I don't want to leave it on a sour note where I'm being negative, and I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm being so negative in this video, but it has just not been a great season for Chessington and the whole of the Merlin parks, and that shows in the attendance figures for this year, with Thorpe Park being down 8%, and I'm not too sure about the other ones. So I haven't properly delved deep and had a look, but it does just show that people are starting to get fed up with the way Merlin are treating the parks. Like, they went through years at Thorpe Park where there was no big coaster from after the Swarm. You've obviously now had Hyperia, but how long till we get another coaster or another investment there? Chessington as well is getting all this investment now, but what about the future? After this big investment here, are we going to see the end of the investment at Chessington? Obviously, you've got Legoland that hasn't seen any kind of big investments for a while. I think the last notable one was Flight the Skyline and the whole Mythica area, which was a couple of years ago now. So even that hasn't seen too many additions in the last couple of years. Alton Towers has obviously had Toxicator and Nemesis Reborn, so that's had investment as well. But is that going to slow down now with Merlin struggling financially? This is all questions that have been thrown up in the air, and it does trickle down in a way to the actual ground level of the parks, because you can see how dated areas are. Like Tiger Rock is really dated, the paint's peeling off, there's a lot of painting and cleaning that needs to be done. The pathways are quite dirty, some of the theming's quite cheap and tacky, and you can see where there's just no budget and thought gone into it. There's also a lot of eateries closed, like I said earlier. There's also merchandise as well, which isn't as broad as it used to be. Obviously, you've got the staples that always come out at like Thorpe Park Fright Nights, where you get the maze hoodie or like the big park hoodie. You've also got the t-shirts that they do for that. There is merch coming out, but it's not as much as we used to have it. It's not as theme park based. It's very generic and very copy and paste. So I'm just hoping that all of this kind of goes up and Merlin do turn this round and make the parks a lot more of a great place to be again, because at the moment people just aren't going, and it's because how badly treated the parks are being, and I'm just hoping that that turns around in the future. Moving this back onto Chessington, I want to leave this on a positive note for Chessington. I am really, really excited for the new Paw Patrol Minecraft area. I think they're going to be great investments and get people through the door. But I'm just thinking that's very good short term, but what about long term, especially IPs, because that's now 3 big IPs that are probably going to come in that they might last 5 or 6, 7, 8 years. And then what happens after that? Because you're going to need to pay more money to change that and retheme that, or are you just going to do what you did with Sonic Spinball Wisdom and take the name off and leave all the theming? These are all things that kind of are questions in theme park enthusiasts and people's heads that need to be answered, and they'll get answered in the future, but I'm hoping that they are the positive answers and not the kind of dreary negative answers that we all think that they're going to be. But that does bring me to the end of this video. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, as it will greatly help me out and it's greatly appreciated. Stay tuned on the channel, because we've got some cool videos coming out over the close season. I'm going to be ranking all of the theme parks I've been to. I'm also going to be ranking all the Fright Night scare mazes I've done and Scarefest mazes that I've done. I'm also going to be visiting a couple of theme parks and doing hopefully a couple of Planet Coaster 2 rebuilds of recreations of attractions at theme parks. So stay tuned for that. I have got one already in the works that will probably be up in the next couple of weeks or so, because I do want to get some more of my own custom Planet Coaster 2 park done as well, which there will be a video out, I believe, on Sunday. This Sunday coming, there'll be a Planet Coaster 2 video from that park again. So yeah, stay tuned for that as well. But until the next video, goodbye.